Hey friends, welcome to Moxie Gardens. I'm Mike Toomey, and today we're going to unveil the tree that we spoke about in yesterday's video. If you haven't yet seen that, feel free to go ahead and check it out. It is Wednesday. I've learned Wednesdays don't do good for videos, but this is a very important piece to the puzzle that we're putting together in the backyard, especially back there by that shed. So we'll be putting that together. We'll talk about how my idea transitioned from last year to this year. Then my brother and I put together some folk art several years ago, back before we even started doing this YouTube channel. If you recall, we used to have the pergola back there in the back. That's no longer there. In that place is our chicken coop. As you entered into the pergola area, there was two pieces of art that we had put together. I kind of drew it up, the designs and how I kind of wanted it, and he gathered the materials, welded it together, put some drainage pieces in it, and we turned it into planters. We're gonna find a spot that located in this garden that makes sense. We'll try not to get it too gaudy, and that way I can plant it up here pretty soon, and we can get back to the way it originally looked. And then as well, before the videos end, I'm hoping that I can go back there and share with you guys and start to assemble the design of the backside of the pond that will flow over into the actual pond itself. It's been a year in the making that we haven't done it. So there's also some saucers, some planters that are no longer existent on overstock.com. Before you ask, that's where we got them. But we're going to go ahead and try to figure out how I can get that to work inside the idea of putting this pond together. That being said, we're going to flip the camera around. We're going to unveil that tree and get it planted, and we'll just move throughout the day. It's a nice, beautiful Tuesday, and you guys will be seeing this on Wednesday. Let's get started. So excited to share with you guys what we got that she raced out here so we can share. Today, picked out a Japanese maple, a blood good. I'm so excited about it. Now, from this view, you can see exactly what I was kind of hoping for. Remember last year when I built that shed back there, and that has an actual air conditioner in it. It's all going to be set up for grandbabies. I don't have them yet, so right now I'll be turning that into something for me to get out of the house and kind of come in here instead of going in the house all the time. That is in the works. But also, you see all the colors. Last year when we talked about it, we talked about, do I want a rose bush on there, a red rose bush? That would look amazing. Still might do something like that, but eventually this blood good that will get roughly about 15 feet across, which will hopefully work that way. I'm going to work with some of the branches and start shaping them that way and this way. So you can see all the color that plays with this Colorado blue spruce right here. Then there's just, oh, you saw the bird that comes out. There's a bird's nest right here in this, oh, pardon me, right here in this tree. Built it while we were on vacation, so hopefully being out here doesn't distract it too much and it can do its thing. But anyway, look at the barberry in the back. Look at the yellow off of the shed, the greens. I think this plays so well. The brown of the chimenea. Of course, I can always move the little lantern. We'll see. But I think so far, the vision comes through. Like I talked about, I really want the branches to come back towards the camera, but I also want, let me kind of come around here. Oh, and then we dug up this prior in yesterday's video when we planted up all these hydrangeas. If you missed that, feel free to go back and check that out. Not a very long video. And plus I got the cuteness of Hey to help me. But that sat right there. We popped it out. So we've got a lot of green, and then I'll come back in here in the spaces and start adding some ground covers and whatnot. But this is the piece I wanted to share with you. So that mop, what is it called? Something mop. Anyways, I'll throw the name on there. Thinking we might just put it right here, but that's still, we'll set it up before videos end and see if it works, because we have the barberry and the yellow of the tree. So I don't want it to be too gaudy with yellow. Okay, let's swing around here. I wanted to share with you. Plus, we're going to be adding the finishing touches right through here. Get some ground covers, something to step in. That's not in today's video. I just kind of get distracted. And then we talked about in a couple videos back, those are heuchera, and these are heuchera, and these 1, 2, 3 are all heuchera that the rabbits, we have a massive amount of baby rabbits running through the garden while we were gone. So they ate up all the color. That would have been a beautiful view from right here. Let's stay focused. Okay, so ultimately what I want are these branches. Let's see, I want those branches to overlay this path so that when I walk through here, if you can imagine, they'll branch over. And so kind of nest ever so softly with the top of this shed. So we'll see. I'm able to, I think I can go through. Do you guys know the name of it? To purchase the, it's almost like you would do bonsai. You know how they shape the bonsai and they get the little wire pieces? I can Google it. I'll Google it. But if you know right offhand, that saves me some time. But I'm thinking if I can bring this back here and start to shape these out real well. I won't limb up anything, but I don't want anything to grow down here. There will be a question, is this too close to the chimenea? I can't burn this chimenea super hot, so any heat, it's going to be hotter in the summer than it will anything coming out of here. I'm only able to put in, this is all just for show, but I'm only able to put in little pieces here and there. But I don't really get it super hot because I do have these trees, but I don't want to move the chimenea. Okay, let's get this in the ground. Let's carry out through the day and see what unfolds. But I'm so excited about this view. Once this tree actually comes through, you'll come into an open space right here. So all of these Taylor junipers will still stand on their own. They'll still, kind of give the story right there. But eventually, once I can shape these out, I think this will be really nice. So when you walk back here, you're walking into some little enchanting fairy tale type deal. And so that's what I'm going with. We'll see how it works out. Let's get a shovel. Okay, turned out pretty darn well. We'll come back and revisit this, but right now I'm thinking that the new folk art that we have, we're gonna repurpose it. Remember we talked about it, was back here where the pergola was. It's sentimental to me, so we're going to find a spot. And I'm thinking right here, let me show you what we're working with. Go to the graveyard. I call this the graveyard right now, currently, because I have a lot of projects, dirt piles and stuff. We've got a project that's going to go in here. Oh, that bike might actually be introduced into the garden at some point during this video. We'll see. Hey's already trying to uncover the pieces that we're going to be working on, but we've got this piece, this right here are the bottoms dig down to the ground. You can see I had them somewhere right about there, and then the rest is exposed. You see we've got drainage holes at the bottom, 1, 2, 3. Same way with this, 1, 2, 3. We'll flip those over. You can already see the face on there, every side. There's 3 sides to each one of these. They all have different characters. We can share that here in a minute, but we're gonna dig these out, and I'm thinking perhaps one goes right here, because I kind of wanted to hide behind this juniper, right? Because when I come here, I want to be able to see this color, and not too much, but then I want some type of pop of color in there. We'll figure that out. We won't plant it up today. We'll sit and think about it, but I'm thinking if they sit behind one, maybe right here, and maybe one right over here, we'll kind of play with it. But the thing is once I dig the hole, I'm not digging it back out. So I want it to be right. We've got a lot of things that are below us that can fill in the space. Again, we'll add ground cover, probably the same ground cover all the way through, just so it's very cohesive, I guess you would say. So let's dig these out and see what we're gonna do. Okay, so this is a pretty good idea of how it's going to look. I'll wash these stones off in a little bit and it'll give it that natural look again. This is just used resources from around the yard that I've carried in. Remember, this yard used to be nothing, so I've carried in a lot of rocks. A lot of these rocks are from buildings and homes and residential areas that have been dug up in our natural area. And this stuff ends up being just tossed off to the side of the road and building supplies. And so typically you can find this anywhere. So in order to keep some cohesive look to the garden, I use a lot of our natural pieces all the way throughout. So instead of using some Windsor wall or something that I would have went and purchased with the color. This lends its hand to the story of the rest of the garden, so we really stay you know, par with everything else we're doing. So I would prefer to do a different stone if I was doing something different in our garden, but I'm not. This is more natural. Anyways, enough said. So you saw I pushed the dirt back up against here, and that's just to soften it up, because now what I'll do is I'll take all the extra liner. So there'll be 2 layers of liner. There's going to be the layer that I put down to protect the actual liner that holds the water. This right here will keep any kind of punctures from roots, sharp edges from stones, that type of stuff. And then I'll put the other layer on it. So this will just fit right in here. So I'll come back and I'll trim all this up. I won't do it right now. I'll wait until I get the weight of the water in there, and then I'll trim it up. There's going to be another layer of rocks. So this is going to fill up. This area will fill up, and then it's going to spill over a rock into another rock and then into the pond. I'll show you from the other side as we get going. So there will be another layer just like this. So I can actually keep some of the liner. I would peel it back about like that. So I can keep some of the liner here and then still continue to go throughout. Then in the end, I can come in and I can tuck in soil into these crevices here, and then I can go through and I can start planting like little ground covers, creeping jenny, that type of stuff, just to soften the stone. But before I do any of that, I'm going to lay out these saucers, and we'll kind of get a general idea of how this is going to look. Feel free, as soon as I start lining these out, once we give you the total look, you can feel free to log in and let's see if we're thinking the same thing. Sometimes patterns, remember, I'm okay with plants, but when it comes to planters, 3s, 5s, 2s, 1, I can mix it up a little bit. So just kind of help me out if you see something that you think, because this isn't set in stone. Once I set this in here, we'll kind of move it around as we go. I've got some stones over here. This stone, I don't know if you can see it in the line, in that video there. This is going to be one of the rocks that helps drop the water off, and then I have one more. The 2 big rocks in the beginning that I had the hardest time moving. So I'll wait till my son gets home. We'll do that, spray around it, but let's just kind of play with this, see how it goes. You can see all the leaves and natural pieces of the garden that have started to decay, so it's fun. Okay, perhaps this will give you a better perspective from up here. This stone, again, it looks a little dirty and kind of blend in. Once I wash it off, it's going to really let that natural color come through. The liner will flop over, and then we'll add another layer of stone on top when I'm ready. And then we've got these, okay, so these are the 2 rocks that will act as a waterfall. So one will sit right there, and then, let's see if I can show you. There's another layer. You can see here. So there's a layer here, and then there's a drop off, and then there's another drop off. So we'll have a 3-tier drop off, and that is beautiful. Anyway, and so that piece right there is the hose to the pump. This is a view from the garden that you don't see very often. And then of course we get locked off with everything that's around here. Okay, moving on. What are we thinking about these saucers? We can leave it at this angle, I think, or we could set them up like this. There is a bunch of monkey grass down there, and under here it's pretty hardy stuff, so once I remove this stuff, it'll pop back up. So I can go through here and do some ground cover. I could just do mulch or leaves. We got a ton of leaves that are packed back there. I can pull them through. I don't know, A or B, this being B, because I don't know there's another option. And I don't really want to elevate them. In the past, I've elevated them onto these stones, concrete center blocks. I don't think I want to do that this time. I think I want to just leave it more. It's on the natural plane of the land, the soil now, the land, but it's still elevated. There's, let's see, 3 different levels here for the most part. This is a lot to to talk about with you guys, but anyways, this is what I'm looking at. So the water right there, I'll have that natural look right there of water. I would like to have I don't know, like set one up there. Let me see. I don't know, is C a better alternative? It kind of opens them up a little bit. Okay, well, we'll keep playing with it. I won't bore you guys with any more of this conversation, but I think we're gonna go ahead and stop here. I think this will be the video. Let me just recap what we did. Look at this view coming through here. Sheesh. But we planted up this bloodgood. I think it's going to be a beautiful piece right here, because before we talked about all the different things I was going to do to that shed behind it, but I think this plays its hand better. I think this is more natural and it looks very good. Closes it off. Don't know if I've talked about it, but I do know that the trees around it, everything is going to grow larger. We'll just continue that path when we get there. This stuff grows so slow. I'm not worried about anything. We can alter branches, we can do things, but for right now, I've got another probably 5 or 6 years before we start. The bloodgood obviously is going to grow a little bit more quickly than the rest of it, but I've got probably several years before we have to start removing branches and whatnot. But it'll all be cohesive, just like the rest of the garden. And then we've got our folk art here, my brother made. So on this side, I've got a tree just welded out. We'll get it all washed up here in a little bit and get it cleaned back up. On this side, you can see that's a brand T5, Toomey 5, my last name, plus our 5 children and my wife and I. And then on this side, we've got the mountains, trees from the mountains. And then on this one, you can see his wild little hair. I am jealous. Then we have another face on this side, just using different nuts and bolts from the workplace there. And then we have this one. So when we walk down this path right here, maybe down here, this will be a good view. If you can imagine, we might go with some hot colors here, just to kind of not be, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. And then below here, we've got a lot of opportunity at ground covers. We'll come around here. And if you can imagine for a moment, these branches, I'm gonna move back over here. They actually are pretty darn, like if I can, see if I can share with you. Yeah, see how much closer to the shed it gets. I think we have an opportunity to make this path right through here very charming, and so that you have to walk underneath the branches. I think that will lend its hand to the story. Another rabbit. Same thing on this side. It'll be fun. Once we start getting some more color in here with the annuals and whatnots, we will definitely have a show-stopping view from pretty much any angle in the garden. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble on and share with some of these projects. We will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye now.